how's it going everybody? It's Yong here and welcome to day 32 of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. Before you proceed, I highly recommend you check out day 33, in which I discuss the time when Square Enix teased during Sony's PlayStation 4 announcement event that a Final Fantasy title was coming to the new system, although not much else was specified. In this video, I'll be talking about further hints leading up to the official announcement of Final Fantasy XV at E3 2013. After Final Fantasy brand manager Shinji Hashimoto took the stage during Sony's PlayStation 4 announcement press conference on February 21st, 2013 to tease that a Final Fantasy game would be coming to the new system. A month later, on March 15th, 2013, an interesting development would occur. On that date, it was discovered that on the website of Japanese fashion brand Rowan, which did costume designs for VSXIII, in the biography section, it was possible to find a listing that said Final Fantasy XV. Website Gematsu's article on the matter then pointed out that it's possible to tell that this is indeed referring to Final Fantasy VSXIII because it was on this year, 2008, that Square Enix announced their partnership with Rowan to help create the costumes of the game's four main protagonists. VSXIII was also nowhere to be found elsewhere on the page, so it was clear that the words Final Fantasy XV were in place of where Final Fantasy VSXIII should have been. Gematsu also noted that when looking back at older screenshots of the website, it's possible to trace this listing as far back as July 2012. This was the same month that Kotaku released their article claiming that Final Fantasy VSXIII had allegedly been cancelled, and that they heard from their sources that the game was folded into the next numbered entry in the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy XV, which is likely around the time when the shift from VSXIII to XV was made behind the scenes in Square Enix. Looking back at this now, the timing is too perfect to be a coincidence. Now, after this information spread, Rowan eventually got wind of this and released a statement on their website stating that the Final Fantasy XV listing was a mistake that's been fixed, and that the staff is taking measures to ensure these types of things do not occur in the future. As if Rowan's slip-up wasn't enough of a hint about VSXIII's shift to XV, 4 days later, on March 19th, 2013, website VG Leaks released the following article declaring that Final Fantasy XV will be exclusive to PlayStation 4 based on information they had obtained from somewhere. They don't really say what their source is. Here's the statement that they made on the matter. Square Enix announced Final Fantasy VSXIII years ago and the game was lost in the limbo. Square decided to halt vs PS3 development 2 years ago, but the RPG wasn't cancelled. Why? 2 years ago, Square Enix moved the game to PS4 and Sony got in the project. Actually, Sony is co-developing the game with Square Enix, therefore this game will be exclusive on the PS4. Square Enix renamed Versus to Final Fantasy XV in the middle of this process. Sony Studios are helping Square Enix with Final Fantasy XV assets among other tasks. We hinted this PS4 exclusive 1 month ago, but we couldn't speak freely about this topic. Now it's all that we can say. They definitely got a lot of things right, like the fact that VSXIII development for the PS3 was halted to pave the way for XV for PS4, and that XV was in fact VSXIII renamed and ported over to the new console. But I have no idea where they got the information that the game would be PlayStation 4 exclusive and that Sony was co-developing the game. I can definitely see how that might have seemed plausible at the time, considering last time VSXIII was talked about, it was still listed as a PS3 exclusive. But looking back at this now, that aspect of VG Leaks rumors ended up being completely false. But that's just the way these kinds of rumors are. It's all hearsay and some things get lost in translation. The important thing is that as the announcement of Final Fantasy XV drew near, more and more hints surfaced that VSXIII would indeed be renamed to XV and that it would transition over to PlayStation 4, receiving a makeover along the way. thus concludes the information that I want to cover in this episode of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective, and with that, I would like to end this video. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below if you recall what your train of thought was as more and more news leaked of Versus 13's transformation. And to be further updated on all things Final Fantasy, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!